Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Adam Cellini. Topping our news tonight, voters in Sarasota and Manatee counties are getting ready to head to the polls and decide if more taxpayer dollars should be put towards schools. If the tax referendums get approval, property owners will pay an extra $17 a month or a little over $200 per year in Manatee County. The outcome of Tuesday's election up there will determine whether teachers are also in the running for possible raises and if students will get an extra 30 minutes of class time every day.
For a student in Sarasota County who has had that extra half hour in their K through 12 career as a student, they have received an extra school year worth of instruction.
If you want to be like Sarasota, conduct yourself like Sarasota. Reconcile your bank accounts. Stop wasting millions of dollars, and stop managing by crisis.
Sarasota County taxpayers already pay those higher property taxes. Voters will determine on Tuesday if that will continue through the year 2022. Well, half the high schools in Manatee County have new rubberized tracks for their athletes. The school district says they were planning on installing the same upgrades for all 6 of their high schools over a 3-year span, but now Palmetto, Lakewood Ranch, and Manatee High Schools are the only ones who have received the upgrade. Those schools may host countywide track meets to share the wealth, but some say the other schools are at a competitive disadvantage during practices. The district's athletic supervisor says those remaining schools recently had their tracks redone with asphalt, and rubberized tracks will be laid on top once funding becomes available.
It's not that they're not going to get tracks. It's just at this current time, with the cost expenditures we had on it, the capital funding is just not available right now to do those. So that's something that's going to be evaluated on an ongoing process.
District Athletic Director Jason Montgomery says the schools are now getting the new tracks because Manatee County was being overlooked for track meets because of their conditions, and it was costing the schools extra money in traveling costs. A protest taking place this morning at the Temple Emmanuel in Sarasota. The group Answer Suncoast, who is a chapter of the Answer Coalition, are not happy with the political landscape in Israel, especially when it comes to their views on the LGBTQ community. But a local rabbi says otherwise.
You have people coming around touting these progressive politics. It's all sort of a ploy to fool us into thinking that Israel is progressive, which it's not.
We've heard about how the Prime Minister of Israel gave a beautiful and impassioned speech just the day before the Jerusalem Pride Parade in 2016. We've heard about how lesbian and gay people are welcomed in the Army, are welcomed in all walks of life, and it's been a beautiful thing to see. I wish that the protesters across the street had been with us also. I think they would have been just as inspired as we were.
The temple had an emissary from Israel talking to the congregation about the LGBTQ life in the country. An arrest has been made in connection with a murder that took place last week in Bradenton. Jacorian Lee was arrested around 5 o'clock this afternoon without incident. Last Sunday, an argument allegedly took place between Lee and Tommy Brown Jr. Lee allegedly shot and killed Brown and then fled the scene. A fire broke out this afternoon at the Westfield Siesta Key Mall, according to Sarasota County Emergency Services. That call came in right before 4 o'clock this evening about a smoldering filter inside the Naples Flatbread Kitchen restaurant. The restaurant and neighboring Cinebistro Theater were evacuated, and that fire was put out by 4:30. Firefighters found the blaze originated in an AC unit. One patient was evaluated for difficulty breathing, but was not transported to a hospital. And now we take it over to Wendy Ross for a check on our First Alert weather forecast tonight. Wendy, how's it looking out there?
It still looks awfully good out there. We've got a couple of clouds that are now forming well out in the Gulf of Mexico, and you can see them. They've just sort of erupted in the last hour, and they're moving in our direction. So we're going to be seeing partly cloudy skies. That will develop throughout the nighttime hours, but we still have mostly a starry night out there right now. 70 degrees at this hour, dew point humidity levels on the rise, and those winds are coming in right off the Gulf. Gulf at around 6 miles per hour. So currently all around our viewing area we have fair skies. We're looking at temperatures right around 70 degrees, and for the rest of the night we are going to be experiencing some rain to the north, but those showers are not coming here. So that's the good news, and what we're looking at are mild temperatures. 64 for the overnight low is what is anticipated. Partly cloudy skies towards morning, and we'll let you know about an upcoming cold front that's coming on through and what that cold front is going to do to our weather in the next couple of days. That's all coming up in just a minute. Adam.
All right, thank you, Wendy. When a pedestrian bridge fell onto a busy 8-lane road, officials down in South Florida feared the worst. Now, 3 days after that deadly collapse at Florida International University, authorities have identified the 6 victims of the disaster. Kim Hutcherson has more on these developments.
Days after a pedestrian bridge crumbled, crushing cars and people, authorities say all of the victims have been accounted for.
That makes it a total of 5 people that were recovered from underneath the bridge. There was 1 individual that passed away at the hospital, for a total of 6 people. And I believe that is the final count.
Search crews worked tirelessly to extract vehicles and recover the victims, holding a moment of silence Saturday as the 5th vehicle was pulled from the rubble. Alexa Duran, Brandon Brownfield, Oswald Gonzalez, Rolando Fraga Hernandez, Alberto Arias, and Navarro Brown have been identified as victims of the tragedy. Police were worried they'd find more victims as they sifted through the 950 tons of concrete and steel.
We're going to go once again and make sure that there's nobody else down there, but we're pretty confident that no one's left. So all the victims have been removed from this site and taken to the medical examiners, so eventually they could be turned over to their family members.
Now that search and recovery is over, investigators are combing the scene to preserve evidence before the site is cleaned up. The NTSB is trying to figure out what caused the span to fall, amid revelations of cracking reported by engineers in the days before the deadly collapse. Relatives of at least 1 victim are demanding answers from the builders of the bridge.
Come forward and tell your story. I want to know who's responsible.
I'm Kim Hutcherson reporting.
And back here in Southwest Florida, a Cirque du Soleil performer has died after a falling during a show in Tampa. The theatrical company announcing on Twitter that Jan Arnaud fell last night while performing an aerial straps performance during the show Volta. Arnaud was taken to a hospital after the fall, where he later succumbed to those injuries. Cirque du Soleil canceled its final 2 Tampa shows earlier today while the company and authorities investigate how this accident happened. Arnaud had been a performer with Cirque du Soleil for more than 15 years. Officials were so concerned about the mental stability of the student accused of last month's Florida school massacre that they decided to have him forcibly committed more than a year before the shootings, but the recommendation was never acted upon. Documents in the criminal case against Nikolas Cruz show the school officials at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School and a sheriff's deputy recommended in September of 2016 that Cruz be involuntarily committed for mental evaluation under Florida's Baker Act for at least 3 days. A commitment under the law would have made it more difficult, if not impossible, for Cruz to obtain a firearm legally. Authorities say Cruz used a legally obtained assault rifle to kill 17 people at the school. And we'll be right back with more news here on ABC 7. Stick around.
I'll be right back.
According to a new survey by U.S. News and World Report, 3 of Alabama's top 4 hotels and resorts are part of the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail Resort Collection. The Grand Hotel Marriott Resort in Point Clear, the Battle House Renaissance Mobile Hotel and Spa, and the Renaissance Birmingham Ross Bridge Golf Resort and Spa. Hey, we didn't invent Southern hospitality, we just offer more of it. Visit rtjgolf.com/resorts to find out more.
We all love our kids and want what's best for them.
You have the power to help your kids learn to succeed in life every day. When you promote a love for learning at home, children build the skills they need to be ready for school. You can be their everyday hero. It's easy. Just text Everyday Hero to 77453 for simple learning tips.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Growing up, my mom was afraid of the water, something she did not want me to feel.
So I enrolled Missy in swim lessons.
It changed my life.
Missy Franklin.
And now you can do the same for someone that you love.
There's nothing more precious than your child's well-being.
So act now, before it's too late.
Make us swim! I'm glad I did.
Thanks, Mom. Visit usaswimmingfoundation.org to find, get, or give a swim lesson.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Welcome back. We're going to take a look at our first alert traffic maps right now. There is a major slowdown on the Skyway Bridge. Those are the southbound lanes that you are looking at right now. Just been some reports of emergency vehicles on the bridge. We don't exactly know the circumstances, but if you can, try to avoid the Sunshine Skyway Bridge here tonight. In other news, President Donald Trump's plan to tackle the nationwide opioid epidemic includes the death penalty for high-volume drug dealers. The director of the White House Domestic Policy Council revealed the details of Trump's plan today. That plan will focus on law enforcement and prevention and education through a sizable advertising campaign, improving the ability to fund treatment through the federal government, and helping people impacted by the opioid epidemic find jobs while fighting addiction. The DOJ will seek the death penalty for certain drug traffickers when appropriate. Trump has been outspoken about that topic, outspoken about including the death penalty in his plan. But this is the first time it has been included in an official administration plan. Congress recently appropriated $6 billion to help curb that opioid epidemic. Democrats have offered jobs to former FBI Director Andrew McCabe in order to help him qualify for his full pension. Attorney General Jeff Sessions fired McCabe Friday night, a little more than 24 hours before his 50th birthday, when he could legally begin collecting his retirement. McCabe had planned to retire on that birthday. Yesterday, several Democratic representatives said McCabe had earned his pension and tweeted him with job offers. Illinois Representative Luis Gutierrez, Wisconsin Representative Mark Pocan, and Massachusetts Representative Seth Moulton, all expressing interest on social media. Former FBI Director James Comey's book won't be released until April 17th, but as of this morning, it was #2 on Amazon's bestseller list. Yesterday morning, it was all the way up at number 15, but that afternoon, responding to comments on social media from President Trump, Comey tweeted about the upcoming release of his book called A Higher Loyalty. He said, quote, "Mr. President, the American people will hear my story very soon, and they can judge for themselves who is honorable and who is not." His retort has since been shared more than 100,000 times, making it twice as popular as Trump's original Barr. But that's not the only seller that showed a surge of pre-order sales over the weekend. It was also #4 on Barnes & Noble's list of best-selling books on this morning. Vladimir Putin is set to extend his power in Russia for another 6 years after winning today's presidential election with a projected 73.9% of the vote. A state-run exit poll is showing his election win will take his rule to 2024, when he will be 71 and obliged by law to step down. But the president hasn't groomed a successor, prompting speculation he may try to find a way to extend his power beyond those terms. Putin was widely expected to win his 4th term as president with no meaningful opposition in the running, and his fiercest opponent, Alexei Navalny, barred from the race. Putin, a former KGB spy, has dominated Russian politics for 18 years, and the 65-year-old was already the country's longest-serving leader since Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin. Florida school districts could get more money to hire school resource officers, depending on what happens with a contentious program that allows school personnel to carry guns. Florida legislators earlier this month approved a $400 million school safety proposal that includes $97 million for more school resource officers and $67 million for the school guardian program. Many school districts have already said they have no interest in that Guardian program, which would allow trained school employees to carry guns on campus. Senate President Joe Negron said on Friday if there is unspent money in the Guardian program, it might be used to hire school resource officers. Negron says legislative leaders were discussing with Governor Scott's office about using the Legislative Budget Commission to shift any unused money. Well, back here at home, just have to walk outside and see why there's all that traffic on the road. It's the beautiful weather. I mean, it's been spectacular.
Spring break, right? Isn't it also spring break?
Yes, those like stagger on each other for the different schools in the country. So
that's right. That may be
it's like a month of traffic.
Did you notice it's southbound on I-75, right?
I did notice that.
So that's probably what it is over the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. It certainly has nothing to do with the weather because the weather is spectacular as it was today. We can see just nothing but clear blue sky out there. And we had a lot of boaters, a lot of people heading out to the beach today. It was just one of those spectacular days to be out and about. We had temperatures in some locations that got well over 80 degrees for the daytime high, and it's turned into a splendid night as well with fair skies all around. But we have changes in our forecast. On Monday, it is still going to be sunny, and it's also going to be warm. But on Tuesday, that is when we've got a cold front coming on in, and the possibility of severe weather is possible with the likelihood of thunderstorms, but the possibility of tornadoes and maybe even some hail. And it is also definitely going to be cooler as a result of that cold front. So this is what's going on. We've got a cold front to our north. This is not the one that's going to be coming on through. That's going to continue to move off towards the east and dissipate. But it has been prompting some of the showers that we've seen over the northern part of the state today. That low pressure system is digging on a little bit deeper. And this high pressure system has been our fair weather friend across central and south Florida for the past couple of days. This weekend has been splendid as a result of it, but we've got the cold front way out here west of Texas, and this is the one that's going to continue to move across the Gulf Coast states, and it is going to be through the state by Tuesday and on top of us on Tuesday. And this is the one that could potentially give us some severe weather on Tuesday. Later in the day is more than likely when we're going to start to see those thunderstorms coming on through, and the possibility is also there that we could get the tornadoes as well as the hail. There is that possibility. So just keep watch on those days. That particularly on Tuesday is the day we need to be careful. And then this is the weather right now across the southeast. We've got the showers, and we've also got the cloud cover taking place out in the Gulf of Mexico, starting to make its way on shore. But we are going to be rain-free tonight. We don't have to worry about any showers. That's all going to stay to the north. Central and South Florida, however, are going to continue to stay fair all night long. And then tomorrow we're going to start to see those showers getting closer, but they're not going to make it on through. So we're not going to see rain tomorrow either. That's not going to be in our forecast. It won't be until Tuesday when we get those showers and the possibility of thunderstorms and tornadoes possibly coming on through the area. And this is what it looks like for Monday and beyond. We've got the showers to our north on Monday, not coming on through, but then Tuesday we've got the rains coming on in. And then Wednesday it's going to be sunny and gorgeous once again, but we've got colder weather that's going to be moving on behind that front. 78 for the daytime high, 55 the overnight low today. Temperatures right now in the 70s, a little bit cooler down to the south. And if you're heading off to the beach, those winds will be out of the south at 10 to 15 knots, seas 1 to 2 feet, and it will be a little bit bit choppier out in the bay and inland waters. So Tuesday is our first alert day. That's because there is that possibility of severe weather on Tuesday, and we're going to continue to keep you updated. So you just have to pay attention to your app. Just make sure you have that downloaded on your phone, and you will be able to stay up with whatever is going on. If we have watches or warnings to present, we will make certain that they're out there for you in a timely fashion. And you'll see that those temperatures go down after that front comes in on Wednesday, Thursday, and we're back to a warm-up just in time for next weekend. Adam.
All right, thank you, Wendy. We got sports coming up next after the break. Stick around.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her so I could call and thank them. And she's doing fine. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast. Life Alert saves a person from a catastrophe every 10 minutes.
Life Alert is a lifesaver. If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-652-3012. That's 1-800-652-3012. Call now, 1-800-652-3012. For a free brochure, call 1-800-652-3012.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? But now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
We all love our kids and want what's best for them. You have the power to help your kids learn to succeed in life every day. When you promote a love for learning at home, children build the skills they need to be ready for school. You can be their everyday hero. It's easy. Just text Everyday Hero to 77453 for simple learning tips.
Monday at 5 on ABC7, your Suncoast News.
The startling new numbers behind binge drinking. We'll have the details in Health Smart.
Monday at 5 on ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Now, sports.
The Lightning playing back-to-back games tonight. They've been outscored 10-4 in their last two straight home losses. First goal of this game against the Oilers, an embarrassing one for backup goalie Louis Domingue, who gets lost behind the net and then kicks the corner shot into the goal. It's 1-0 Edmonton. The Bolts would tie it in the first period. Then in the second, Nikita Kucherov finds himself in the right place at the right time, top shelf, and it's a one-goal lead for the Lightning, who would add one more, and the Bolts win by a final score of 3-1. It will not be a title repeat for UNC, the Tar Heels losing a tournament game in their home state for only the second time in program history. Texas A&M out-rebounding North Carolina 50-36 and shot 52% en route to a 21-point victory over the current champs. A&M will face 3-seed Michigan, and for the second straight year, the title holder will not make it to the Sweet 16. The University of Nevada went down to the wire with Cincinnati. Josh Hall's putback right here with 9 seconds left was the Wolfpack's first lead of the game after they were down 22 points at halftime. Nevada pulls off a historic comeback to beat the 2-seed Bearcats, and they advance to the Sweet 16 where they will face another Cinderella, Loyola from Chicago. The first 16 seed to ever play a second game in the NCAA tournament, University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and another low-scoring match with Kansas State. Jarius Lyles, the hero in the Retrievers' last game, had 12 points in tonight's effort, but UMBC shoots under 30% in the game's final minutes, and their clock finally strikes midnight as they fall to Kansas State 50-43. And here's another game that just ended with number 9 FSU beating number 1 seed Xavier 75-70 and avenging last year's loss. FSU will move on to the Sweet 16 where they will face number 4 Gonzaga, while Xavier joins Virginia as the second number 1 seed to get knocked out of the tournament. More to come here on ABC 7. Stay with us.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
We all love our kids and want what's best for them. You have the power to help your kids learn to succeed in life every day. When you promote a love for learning at home, children build the skills they need to be ready for school. You can be their everyday hero. It's easy. Just text Everyday Hero to 77453 for simple learning tips.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Watch ABC 7 wherever you are, on our live stream, on mysuncoast.com, on the ABC 7 My Suncoast app, powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life, featuring traffic maps and live radar, dining with recipes, and My Suncoast Restaurant Guide. Visit mysuncoast.com. Click on the Apps tab to download the ABC 7 My Suncoast app for Apple and Android.
They are the greatest fighting force the world has ever seen. But what does it take to bridge the distance and keep them connected to family, home, and country? What does it take to strengthen our service members so they can be the greatest force for good in the world? It takes a force. Be a force behind the forces. Give today at force.uso.org.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here.
Why, you don't like my hair? The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds. No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm going to show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch the Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
Download the all-new ABC 7 First Alert Weather app now. The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
Well, finally tonight, the real score that you've been waiting for, the 10th annual Mutt Derby at the Sarasota Kennel Club, taking place this morning with dozens of dogs participating. It's a benefit put together to help the greyhounds who have retired. The public bringing their own dogs from all shapes and sizes to test their own speed on the track. The dogs were separated into weight divisions to compete against one another, but not all dogs understood the point of the race and had a difficult time staying right there on the track.
And that's where the fun part comes in, because you never know what's going to happen. Some dogs jump in the pond, some dogs go sniff the fence, some dogs play with the other dogs. It's just a free-for-all sometimes. You just don't know what they're going to do.
This is our third time, and this was one of the toughest ones we've had thus far. But Sadie excelled again, and she came in first.
See all the ribbons on the hat? That's because Sadie keeps doing the races and keeps winning those races, and who never says it's because she needs the exercise. So there you have it. Dog races. Wendy loves it. We love it.